All right, we're going to put everything together and look at this little fox that's going to help us through. Foxy little guy there, huh? All right, factor using the GCF method. So 3 terms, I got to find what goes into all of them. Remember, factor your smaller one and see, does 6 go into 12? Yes, but does it go into 21? No. Does 3 go into 6? Yes. Into 12? Yes. Into 21? Yes. So that's it. I do not have any variable on that last term, so I'm not going to use that. I'm dividing by 3. I get 2 with an x squared plus 4 with an x plus 7. Okay, don't forget, GCF here, what you get when you divide, which I've been calling the leftovers here. Got to have both of those, okay? All right, so the fact that 7 is prime, your only choices are 1 and 7. 7 won't work, so it's going to be 1. But I've got 6 n's, 4 n's, 2 n's. Remember, you take the smallest one out because in order to be in common, they can't have more than the smaller one. 7 divided by 1 is 7. 6 minus 2 is n to the 4th. 9 divided by 1 is 9. 4 minus 2 is n squared. 9 divided by 1 is 9. N squared, or 2 minus 2, is 0. So there is your solution. Remember, GCF, leftovers. Okay, look, he's looking for those leftovers. He's hungry. Oh, he's getting mad because if you don't do this right, he's going to get you. He's going to get you. So let's go ahead and group because that's what they tell me, and it's also because there's 4 terms. So remember, I'm not looking at those. I am taking the GCF of these two, which is n squared. You can put a 1 there if it helps you out. 1n squared, 1n squared. What do I get when I divide? 3 divided by 1 is 3. 3 minus 2 is n to the 1st. Don't need that 1, but it's okay if it's there. Negative 1 divided by 1 is negative 1. 2 minus 2 is 0, so there are 0 n's left. Now I'm going to look at this one. Remember, because that's negative, I have to take out a negative, and my common factor there is 4. So I'm going to take out a negative 4. Negative 12 divided by negative 4 is 3, and I have an n left. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is positive 4 divided by negative 4 is negative 4. I almost hit orange. That wouldn't show up very well, would it? So here's your 2 terms. What do they have in common? They both have a 3n minus 1. When you factor that out, what do you have left? N squared minus 4. Even though it says factor by the grouping, remember, we always have to double, triple, check, check. Look at this right here. 2 terms. There's a minus in the middle. Perfect square, perfect square. So we're going to leave 3n minus 1, and we're going to factor this into the plus minus. What's the square root of n squared? What did I square to get n squared? N. What's the square root of 4? 2. Whoo, doggy, foxy. All right, oh, he says, I bet you can't do this one. I bet you can't. We're going to outfox the fox. These two, 7 is prime, but 7 does go into 28, so I've got a 7. B squared is my smaller variable, so I've got 7b squared. Does yellow show up on here? Ooh, that shows up nicely. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1b. Negative 28 divided by 7 is negative 4. No bis. No bis for you. This is negative, so I have to take out a negative. 5 is also prime, but it goes into 20, so we take out negative 5. And what do we have left? Negative 5 divided by 5 is, or negative 5 is 1 with a b. 20 divided by 5 is, oh my gosh, I can't say that word. 20 divided by negative 5 is negative 4. What do these two have in common? B minus 4. Remember, you don't need that 1. It's okay if you put it there. Factor that out. What do you have left over? 7b squared minus 5. The fact that that's squared is a red flag. It says double, triple, check, check. But 7's prime, 5's prime, they're not perfect squares, so I am done. I am done. Page won't turn. There we go. All right. So you're going to use the GCF method. You're going to use the grouping method. Don't forget to double, triple, check, check at the end. Look at him. He's giving you this fox eye. Double, triple, check, check. This is Fred. Fred the fox. Okay, pause the video, write these down, do them. Factor completely using the big X. So I'm going to go, oh, look at, there's an X right there. Oh, she is so clever. I'm going to take 1 times negative 18, which is negative 18, and I am looking for negative 7. I have to have a positive and a negative because that's negative. The bigger number is going to be negative. So 1 and negative 18 is no good. 2 and negative 9, there it is, 2 and negative 9. So I'm going to leave X squared. I'm going to rewrite the negative 7x as plus 2x minus 9x, and then I'm going to leave the minus 18. Remember, at this point, you should double check 2 minus 9 is negative 7. Now we're going into our grouping. So what do these two have in common? They have an x. So pull the x out. X squared divided by x, 2 minus 1 is 1x. This is a 1 here. 2 divided by 1 is 2. The x's cancel. Got a negative, so I got to pull out a negative. What do they both have? Negative 9. Negative 9 right there, guys. Negative 9 divided by negative 9 is 1 with an x left over. Negative 18 divided by negative 9 is positive 2. My common factor here is x plus 2. And then my leftovers is x minus 9. Remember how long that first video was? These are going fast. Zoom. Fast like a fox. Okay, this guy's going, you want me to go fast? I don't think so. That's a lot of work. All right, we're going to take 1 times 12 and get 12, and we're looking for 7. Everybody's positive. So 1 and 12 gives me 13. 2 and 6 gives me 8. 3 and 4 gives me 7. Remember, you don't have to do that if you can see them, but always check to make sure it does add up to what you've got. So we're going to do plus 3k, plus 4k, and we're leaving the plus 12 at the end. 4 terms now, we're going to go to grouping. These first two have a k in common, so I'm going to pull out a k. 2 minus 1 leaves me with 1k. 3 divided by 1 is 3, 0 k's left. This is positive, so I'm pulling out a positive. My common factor here is a 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1 with a k left. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Got your two factors there. What do they have in common? K plus 3. What do we have left over? K plus 4. K? Yeah, KK. All right, factor using the difference of squares. This is my personal favorite method. Perfect square, minus. Don't forget to check for that. We go plus, minus. What is the square root of 9n squared? What did I square to get that? 3n. That's my leading term in both binomials. What's the square root of 1? 1. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, perfect square. Don't forget to check to make sure that that is a minus. So I'm going to go plus minus. I'm going to take the square root of 16x squared. What did I square to get 16? 4. What about x squared? X. So 4x is my first term. Square root of 25 is 5. Oh, these get a heart. I love difference of squares. Ooh, secret drawing. All right, and here's checkpoint 2. Do the big X to get started, finish with grouping, and then you're going to use the difference of squares. Oh my gosh, this one wasn't even 10 minutes. You got a lot of sleep during study hall after watching this one. All right, guys, remember, you got to be mean, lean factoring machines. So make sure you try these checkpoints, okay? Bye.